Okay, question of the day.
Are we on Ink TV?
We are on Instagram TV right now.
Okay, I've never done Ink TV before.
Yes, you have. You just didn't realise it.
Oh no, you've got to be kidding me. You didn't do that.
Okay, we're filming an Ink TV episode right now. Anyway, the question of the day that has come in is a very interesting one.
It is.
Is it safe to use tarot cards, Lyle?
Okay, tarot cards.
Tarot cards.
Let's talk about tarot cards. Let's read what the Bible says, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those passages you have to read from the LKJV because it sounds good. When you are come into the land which the Lord your God gives you, you shall not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. Now, abomination was a word that Moses was quite fond of using, but he goes on. There shall not be found among you anyone that makes his son or his daughter to pass through the fire. In other words, child sacrifice. That's a good thing not to do. Or that uses divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. Don't you like that name, that word?
Yeah, but none of them mention cards, Lyle.
Okay, but tarot cards are involved in all of these kind of things here. Oh. So when we talk about divination, telling the future, this is what tarot cards are all about. Tarot cards are all about reading your future.
Okay.
And here's what I've noticed. The devil has no love for his own. Mm-hmm. And these are, tarot cards are something that comes, that Satan uses, much like tea leaf reading, and is involved in Wicca and witchcraft. The Bible says not to get involved in this. This is not because the people who are practicing it are bad people. Mm-hmm. Many people that I've met that practice the Wicca religion or they're into tarot cards are really good people who have really good hearts. But that does not make it right. Mm-hmm. It makes a very dangerous thing to be involved in. And I've learned over and over and over again, and you will learn this without fail. Just observe for yourself if you don't believe me. The devil has no love for his own, and when you serve the devil, he will destroy you. He will turn your life into a train wreck. Now, there are lots of people in our world today who have, they've been able to get their lives together, or their lives are together. I could take you back through my life, and seriously, if you heard my testimony and where I've come from, I should not be here today doing this. My life was headed for a major train wreck. I left home when I was 15 years old. I'm living out in the bush by myself. I'm basically homeless. And then the story goes on and on and on from there. I could give quite a sob story if I wanted to. I lived out there for 5 years. That's a fair stretch of time. Sometimes I meet people like, oh yes, I used to be homeless. How long were you homeless for? Oh, 2 weeks. Yeah. Even Doug Batchelor only lived in the cave for like 1.5 years.
And you lived out there for 5 years.
5 years, that's right. And, often when people have a childhood like that, single parent home, all that kind of thing, their life is, there is potential for so much train wreck. Mm. And the reason that my life is not a train wreck is because of what Jesus Christ has done for me.
Amen.
What he's done in my life and what he can do in your life. You will not meet anyone who gives their life to Jesus Christ and Jesus destroys their life. That person does not exist. There are lots of ways of turning your life into a train wreck, but giving your life to Jesus is not one of them. Now, giving your life over to Satan and going over to the other side and getting involved in the kind of things that the Bible speaks about here, that is something that will definitely destroy your life. And you can see it over and over again.
Thank you so much for answering the question, are tarot cards safe to use? If you have a question, you can contact here at Faith FM. Our number is 1-800-324-843. It's 1-800-FAITH-FM. Or you can text us 0491-064-669. Anytime, day or night. We love fielding your questions. And Lyle will answer them live on air on Instagram TV. And I think we'll put this on Facebook as well, Lyle. What do you reckon?
Yeah, why not? Absolutely.
Send us your questions.